Hey guys, it's Josh here, and today I have an exciting video for you guys. Today I'm going to be ranking the 20 biggest cities in Wisconsin by a tier ranking system. So we're ranking from S being the best to D being the worst, and I'm going to be ranking them based on really my general opinion on them, and then maybe I'll just throw in some things that I know about these cities. Now, I don't know a ton about all of these cities. I haven't been to all of these cities either, but I have been to most of them, or I've even spent significant time in them. So there may be a little bit of a bias here, just a forewarning. And if you guys differ differently than me, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Everyone has their own opinions on all these places, and just because I don't think it'd be good for me to live there, it may be great for you to live there. So definitely look into these communities yourself. Enough jibber jabber, let's get into it. This is my custom ranking system. I did it on Canva. We got S, A, B, C, and D. So S being the top. We'll see if anything gets in here. I did put these in from the 20th biggest city all the way up to the first biggest city. We're going to start with Greenfield, Wisconsin. Greenfield's a suburb located just outside of Milwaukee. Don't know too much about it. My friend does live there, but he lives kind of like right on the border of Greenfield and Milwaukee. So, I've never had a true experience of what Greenfield's like. I know they got Kopp's Custard there, which is a staple in Milwaukee. So if you're ever in the area, you can check that out in Greenfield, and then they have a couple other locations as well. I don't get down to Milwaukee too much, so a lot of these Milwaukee suburbs may be ranked in the same tier. We'll see what it ends up being, but Greenfield, from all accounts, it's a decent spot. Again, not super knowledgeable about it, so we're just going to bring that up to the B, kind of like middle of the pack, average, what I got in high school. Next one is Menomonee Falls. Can't say I've ever stepped foot in Menomonee Falls. I've definitely driven through it. To me, it seems nice, but again, I don't know much about it. So this is kind of where I'm relying on you guys in the comments to let me know if you live here what you think of these spots. But I think that's going to be another B option. We're going to actually put it above Greenfield. Next is Wausau. I know a good amount of people from Wausau. I've definitely been up to Wausau. I've stayed in Wausau. By no means an expert in Wausau. It's one of those cities that it's kind of the big hub, quote unquote big hub up in the North Woods of Wisconsin. I don't get up there too often, but I love the skiing culture up in Wausau. They have the name's blanking on me. I'm not a skier, obviously, but it's a popular hill that people go down. So that kind of gets a bump for it. It's like Iron Mountain. I think it's Iron Mountain. Anyway, there's a lot of people that ski up in Wausau because of this. It's kind of got cool landscapes. You get the tall trees with the Northwoods. I just don't know if there's really that much going on with it for being, the bigger city up there. I know they have a couple shopping areas, restaurants and stuff like that. But to me, I don't feel like there's that much really going on with it. Housing's cheap up here, so I mean that is kind of a benefit. I think we're gonna put Wausau above Menomonee Falls and Greenfield, but still in the same tier here of tier B. Next is the city of New Berlin. I actually sold a house in New Berlin, believe it or not. So I've been through New Berlin. I've visited multiple times. I actually got a workout in New Berlin at the Princeton Club there, which was great. But to me, when I was driving through New Berlin, it didn't really have like a true downtown. And maybe I'm wrong in saying that. Maybe I was just on one side of New Berlin, but to me, it felt a lot of like highway going through New Berlin, and then you have these offset like communities and subdivisions and all that stuff. There's just not a lot of charm to it, which kind of is bringing it down for me. But I know a lot of people live here. I know the schools are pretty decent as well. But I think we're going to put it behind. It's going to be close between Greenfield and New Berlin. We're gonna put New Berlin above Greenfield here. So I've been there a little bit more. I liked it. It just didn't have, at least what I saw, it didn't have like a true downtown that was charming or anything of that sort. But please correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm not living in that area. I don't go there very often. City of Brookfield, another Milwaukee suburb. The extent of my Brookfield knowledge is driving on the interstate and I see the Von Maur building on the interstate, and it just looks bright, especially during Christmas time. They have like all the Christmas lights and up and stuff. I've heard good things about Brookfield. I've heard it's expensive. It feels like it would be expensive. A lot of these suburbs of Milwaukee will be a little bit more expensive. So that kind of does take a hit on it. But I've heard good things about Brookfield. It's just I haven't really spent too much time in there. We're going to knock it down to this point, right in between Menomonee Falls and New Berlin. Again, don't know much about it, so sorry for all the B tiers, but we're promise we're going to get outside the B range. Oh, Fond du Lac. Okay, so we got good old Fond du Lac. So I lived in Oshkosh for 6 years of my life. I spent significant time in Fond du Lac. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I went to Fond du Lac, I swear it was cloudy. It's got this weird drab to it, I guess I want to say. I don't want to offend anyone who lives in Fond du Lac and loves it. I personally, it's not for me. Dare I say, I call it the armpit of the state, but that's just me. I don't, obviously, if you love living here, great. I think there is some like, you know, traditional restaurants that have been around for so long, and there's some culture there with that. I know they have a good ice cream shop. I think it's called like Gillies or Guppies or something. I don't know. It's on Lake Winnebago, just on like it's Lake Winnebago is north of Fond du Lac, but there are some houses that sit on the lake, which are nice, but housing's cheap here. It's got its own little issues. I think it's gonna be my first D city. Sorry, Fond du Lac. What was this one? The Village of Wauwatosa. Again, suburb of Milwaukee. Have not spent any time in Wauwatosa. It is super close to Milwaukee, from what I remember. You're in Wauwatosa, and then all of a sudden you're in Milwaukee, so it kind of blends together. Yeah, we're just gonna put it behind Greenfield. There's not much to say about it for me. City number 7 is Sheboygan. Oh, Sheboygan. So I think Sheboygan is cool. I think they have so much opportunity to have such a great city, such a great community. They have a very big freshwater surfing culture there. I lived here when I was 3, so I don't remember it. We obviously left pretty soon after that, so I only lived there for like a year. Have no memory of it. I've visited once or twice since I've been back, or since I've left. It's just kind of run down for being a port city, like on the water. I just wish I was having more with Sheboygan. It's better than Fond du Lac, but I think it's going to be in the C tier. I think it has a lot of things to be improved, and I wish it was improved because it's on such a good location. You're also close to great industries like Kohler. Kohler's not too far away. It's a smaller community, but Kohler, like the Bath brand with the faucets and everything. And there's also some really good golf courses around here too. So, but the city itself, I'm really wishing that they were a little bit more improved. La Crosse, Wisconsin, it's a college town. I went there, I didn't go there, but I visited there to see if I was going to go to UW La Crosse. I love the scenery around it. I think with the bluffs, it's super cool. When I visited there a couple times, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Good city. Not too much bad to say. I hate putting it in a B category again, but I think it's definitely in the B category. I think it's better than Wausau, but I don't know if it cracks the A category. Next is West Allis. I believe the state fair is in West Allis, technically. It's really close to Milwaukee as well. I think it's kind of like that city that a lot of people forget about around Milwaukee. It's bigger. I don't hear too many good things about West Allis, but I think there's like some parts that are great, some parts that are not so great. I think I'm gonna have to put it behind Sheboygan. I don't know much about West Allis. This is all from what I've heard. I'm sure there's great spots there. I think housing's actually somewhat cheap in West Allis, if I remember looking at homes there. But yeah, check out West Allis, see if you like it. I think it's probably fairly rated in the C category, but again, let me know if I am completely off base. Janesville. I spend a lot of time in Janesville. I sell homes regularly in Janesville. I call it Chainsville because there's so many chain restaurants there, but kind of nice because Madison doesn't have a Panda Express. I love Panda Express, so I go down to Janesville and get Panda Express sometimes. I know they're improving some things with the downtown. They're building an athletic center that I've heard great things about, so I think they're definitely improving. I think it's better than it used to be, in my opinion. I think the schools are kind of they're okay. You know, they're nothing great that people rave about all the time. God, I don't want to put everything in the B category, but we're gonna put it down in the C category, actually above Sheboygan. Oh, good old Oshkosh. It is my darling. I love Oshkosh. I know a lot of people don't. I went to school here, so I may have a little bit of a bias when it comes to Oshkosh itself, but spent 6 years of my life here. It was great. Loved it. Love Lake Winnebago, minus the lake flies during the summer for like a month or two. Hughes Chocolate, if you don't know, Hughes Chocolate in Oshkosh. Great spot that's hidden. It's in a basement of a house. The downtown's super cool. You got like historical old buildings. You have the air show called EAA, which is the biggest air show, I believe, in the world. But I know for sure that the small Oshkosh airport during the EAA festival is the busiest airport in the world for that week. So it definitely draws a crowd. You're pretty close to Green Bay, so if you want to get up to a Packer game, it's really not that bad at all. You're kind of in the beginning of the Fox Valley, which I think is a great area of Wisconsin. I love Oshkosh. This is my rankings. Don't yell at me. You're going in A. I love you. City of Eau Claire. I've heard good things about Eau Claire. Have not really spent much time there besides from touring the college when I was looking at colleges. I felt it was fine. I didn't really get to venture in too much. You're close-ish to Minneapolis, so if you want to get to a really, really big city, you're pretty close. You're really up northwest, so you get different landscapes up there. Sure, there's shopping and restaurants and all that stuff. I know there's a good brewery culture up there too. Leinenkugels used to be in Chippewa Falls, which is just outside of Eau Claire. So I think it's got some good culture to it. I've looked at their website for, I can't remember why, but I know they had a lot of like art stuff in their city website. So I think there is a good amount of culture there. Do you think it's better than La Crosse? I think we're gonna bring this one to an A as well. Don't know too much about it. I could be way off base, but from what my perception of Eau Claire is, I think it deserves the A spot. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you guys like the video. It really helps out the channel. Again, please comment any opinions you have on these cities. Don't hate me. This is just my opinion. I hope you guys don't have the same opinions as me. And don't forget to subscribe. We are on to the city of Waukesha. I've been to Waukesha a good amount of times, driven through it, shown some homes in Waukesha. I think the downtown's really cute. I do like that aspect of it. I think a lot of people are fans of it. I think Waukesha it's a suburb of Milwaukee, but you're also pretty far away from Milwaukee where it almost doesn't feel like a suburb of Milwaukee. You kind of get outside of the general first circle of suburbs, in my opinion, which some people really like. Some people feel like it's too far away, but I know the community did come together in that tragedy that happened a couple years ago very well. I think the whole state really came together nicely. So I have a soft spot for Waukesha. I think it's nice. I don't know much about it. I think it's going to be another A tier, but I'm going to put it right in between Oshkosh and Eau Claire. Appleton. Ooh, okay. I like Appleton. I never lived there, but I worked extensively in Appleton a lot. So I've been to Appleton numerous times. If you're going to go shopping in the Fox Valley, you're going to Appleton. They have the best mall, way better than Oshkosh's mall. The city itself is nice, well kept. They have Lawrence, I think it's Lawrence University or Lawrence College. Private school there, so it's right on the Fox River. It's part of the Fox Valley, again, just like Oshkosh, but it's kind of the central hub for Fox Valley. They have a good airport for the size of their city as well. I think that's the airport that a lot of the Packer players will come in on. There's some spots of Appleton that are nicer than others, but I think to me, if I didn't have the bias with Oshkosh, I think Appleton is a better Oshkosh without the lake. I really like Appleton. I think this might be the first S tier. Check out Appleton. I love it. I think it's great. I need something bigger in my life, but if you're thinking of moving to Appleton, the schools are great up there. There's a lot of great people up there. It's not overcrowded. I think it's a great spot. So definitely check out Appleton if you're thinking about moving up there. Oh, Racine. Let's see, the extent of knowledge I have on Racine. My uncle and aunt live there. That's about it. I've never been to downtown Racine. I know housing's cheap in Racine. You're probably, if you think Waukesha is far from Milwaukee, Racine is even further than Milwaukee, in my opinion. I think we're gonna put it right in between West Allis and Sheboygan. I know they have good pizza. There's a good pizza spot in Racine. I only know that because Barstool Sports went there, and there's a really good pizza spot, and I can't think of it. I want to go there just for that. Kenosha. Kenosha is now we're approaching the 100,000 mark of population for these next 4 cities. So these are the top 4 biggest cities in Wisconsin. Kenosha is damn near Illinois. It's so far south. I never get down to Kenosha. I've driven through like the interstate that goes past it. I don't know much about Kenosha. Again, I think it's similar to Janesville where it's improving, and maybe a couple 5-10 years ago it necessarily wasn't the best spot, but I think it is improving. It's so similar to Racine to me that I don't know much about it. Simply that it's bigger than Racine, we're gonna put it right in between right in between Sheboygan and Racine. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Home of the Packers, Lambeau Field. Okay. Green Bay is cool. I think it's cool. It's very blue collar. You can tell with like the factories that are still there. Just the downtown has this gritty blue collar vibe. There's not really any skyscrapers at all in Green Bay. Yet there's over 100,000 people here. Well, I love Lambeau Field. It's the best stadium in all of sports. The traditions in Green Bay, the culture in Green Bay. If you want Wisconsin culture to its like true self, go to Green Bay. I think the Appleton Airport's better than Green Bay, honestly. But there's some good spots around there. I think it can be improved. We're going to put it in the A category. Simply the fact that I'm a huge Packer fan and I love Lambeau Field and I love that area. We're going to go there. There's some good golf courses up here too. Oh, my hometown, city of Madison. There's a reason why I call this spot home. There's a lot of culture here too. There's a lot of different groups of people and diversity for the city itself being, you know, what it is, college town. Not crazy big. It's about 280,000 people. Great restaurants. Again, I always say I think it's underrated for food scene. Love the natural beauty of natural beauty of Madison, Wisconsin, with the lakes. I think overall it's a pretty clean city. Now I think certain spots can be improved a little bit. I love it. This is my rankings. It's not for everybody. Move over Appleton. We're putting you up here. S tier. It is expensive, very expensive to live here, but usually when it's expensive to live somewhere, there's a reason why it's expensive to live there. If you don't know much about Madison, check out my recent video of 5 reasons to move to Madison, or if you want to see the other side, check out my other video of 5 reasons not to move to Madison, because I touch on both. All right, last and biggest city of Milwaukee. Everyone knows Milwaukee. Everyone should know Milwaukee. Home of the Milwaukee Bucks, the Milwaukee Brewers. If you're going to go to a sporting event, chances are you will find yourself in Milwaukee unless you're going to Green Bay for a Packer game or Madison for a Badger game. I do love it. I used to not like it. I think it's growing on me a lot. Like any big city, you're going to have parts where you shouldn't be or where you probably don't want to go, and then parts that are great and that you do enjoy going, and that's going to vary from person to person. But overall, I don't think Milwaukee's as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. I love the building and the architecture of Milwaukee. It reminds me a lot of a smaller Chicago. A lot of traffic in Milwaukee when there's game days and stuff like that, which kind of sucks. It's home to Harley Davidson, some other big companies, a lot of breweries. I like Milwaukee. I don't think it's S tier. I think there's stuff that they need to improve on. I don't think it's B. I think it's A tier, but it's just a matter of where in the A tier am I going to put Milwaukee. And again, I'm someone that likes big cities. I like having things to do and restaurants and all that stuff. So this is going to be a ranking that's different than a lot of you guys. But considering a lot of the restaurants and things to do, we're going to put it, oh, all right, Oshkosh, you're still in the A. We'll put Milwaukee here. Being young, you know, it's a great spot for young people and old people. I mean, a lot of people retire there too. I like Milwaukee. I don't think it's quite S tier, but I think I could see it getting to S tier in like 5 to 10 years with it constantly improving. That is my S tier ranking of the top 20 biggest cities in Wisconsin. Again, I don't know a lot about all of these cities, but I know some about most of them. So take this with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. If you have a different opinion, I would still love to hear it in the comments, especially if you know more about these cities than I do. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this kind of points you guys in the right direction if you're thinking about moving to Wisconsin. And if you are thinking about moving to Wisconsin in general, there are links in the description that you can use to reach out to me, schedule time to talk, and I will point you in the direction that fits most for you. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy holidays. Have a great 2025.